Hello everyone, watch this review here with a look at the Marvel Universe Thanos, whatever. Now, when I first saw this figure announced, this was pretty big news, partly because it came kind of out of left field. Even the Marvel Legends series did not get one, but we had one in the 6-inch scale, courtesy of the Marvel Selects. But also because, it's a larger figure and really breaks away from the whole Marvel Universe mold where, so much is recycled, though. Yeah, I'll talk about that later. Now, backstory-wise, there are some parallels to Darkseid, but I'm not really going to discuss those here. What I am going to do right now is get this figure open. Now, Thanos appears to share several parts with the Marvel Universe Juggernaut here. The legs look somewhat similar. Although you'd think the boots are the same, this of course has to be a new sculpt, and is just because the upper pattern here is different. Lower pattern, if you look, is very similar. And their boots are of course the same, so that confirms that some of the parts have in fact been reused, including the arm portions here. So you'll notice that they put this part here, this part here. Yeah, so they're definitely in. Even when I was looking at this, instead of sculpting a new piece, they just tossed a little flap here. So it does look like it's just the Juggernaut's torso piece, and this other thing is just another flap. So, it's little cost-saving measures that allow them to bring us these cool characters. I mean, I would have preferred had they actually gone just sculpted the parts in, but hey, can't complain. Especially when a figure this size comes with an accessory, in this case the gauntlet without the gems, as opposed to the version here. Don't ask me to name all 6 of the Infinity Gems. It was just 6, right? Yeah, it was 6. For secondary. Yeah, never mind. I know that there's reality, time, stuff like that, but, as for Thanos himself, this is a really awesome head sculpt. Very cool stuff. Body-wise, again, he shares a lot with the Juggernaut, which, isn't an issue or anything. I mean, if we keep seeing the same body again and again and again, I will start saying it's an issue, but at this point, it's still fresh, it's still unique, it's still pretty damn cool, and it is a pretty solid body sculpt. Unlike some of these smaller bodies, which I don't really care for. Now, let's see, do I still have... Nope. I was going to toss in a normal Marvel Universe figure for comparison's sake, but instead we'll have to settle for the Iron Man 2 Advanced Armor, just to give you an idea of scale. Of course, if you've already owned a Juggernaut, you know exactly how big this is, because basically the same body, but, these do kind of tower over your normal figures. This is kind of on scale with Marvel Universe's... Oh, here he is. Sorry, I have a stack of stuff here, and unfortunately the classic armor Iron Man from Wave 3 of Marvel Universe does get mixed in, but as you can see, a very massive character, but again, he is a pretty massive character by nature. So, I mean, scale-wise, he's very solid. And just for fun, let's bring in a Marvel Legend, because these guys are pretty huge, and, next to first appearance Spider-Man, they're practically up to his chest, and so, yeah, pretty big characters. Paint-wise, the entire upper portion here is a solid color, but it has like a sort of glitter effect, like it gets kind of a metallic sheen. I didn't really examine all this closely before, but I think they probably just tossed like little bits of glitter in there like they've done on some other things, but I can't be 100% sure. You will notice that the blue is marked with shadowing and stuff on the back. Also a little defect here. Splotch of black or silver paint. Also a splotch of gold paint, unless that actually signifies something and lead there. I mean, luckily it's on the back of the figure. Probably won't see that very often. I don't know, all in all, he is a very impressive looking figure. Very, very cool character. Can't complain too much, although, the legs do seem to have a tendency to look separated. I thought he had a pretty big defect in pack, but it's probably not a big issue. I've noticed like a small point of separation on like a lot of these larger figures that seem to use the same sculpt. But in terms of articulation, let me give you a quick run through. First off, this part pops right off to switch gauntlets, but it'll also show you that it only rotates. There we go. Interestingly enough, too, this is a closed fist, which is kind of cool because it also gives you one extra degree of kind of posability. But we have rotation here at the forearm, a single joint here at the elbow. I mean, it's the same as the Juggernaut so far. Rotation here, bicep. Ball jointed shoulder. Range feels somewhat impeded, but I don't know, maybe it's just really stiff. Ball jointed head, but kind of impeded due to the really massive shoulders. Torso joint. Now there's only a torso joint, no waist joint. Leg has a normal ball joint, then we have a point of rotation up here at the thigh. Double joint here at the knee. And the ankle, we have the back and forth. And then the boot will rotate. So all in all, very solid figure. It's definitely one of the better ones in the line, but I mean, you kind of knew that going out the gate because it was using the Juggernaut parts, and that is a pretty solid figure itself, so definitely like them. Yep. And I just hope that we don't repeatedly see this sculpt for like every big character. I know they are using a different sculpt for the World War Hulk, which is really cool, so it's good that they do keep mixing it up. But until next time, folks. Quick update, I've since noticed that the glove, once you replace it, never seems to fit like 100% on this. There's always like a little bit of extra gap, which is a little bit disappointing, but depending on how you pose the arm, it's not all that visible. Still very cool, just thought I'd toss that out there.